The UPSC CSE arena is an ever-evolving space where staying up to date becomes as crucial as maintaining a thorough preparation. With strategic planning and holistic coverage for exam syllabus, Vision IS Delhi presents GS Foundation course. Avail analysis and integration of current affairs with GS syllabus. All India test series with an innovative assessment system, inculcating post-test analysis, discussion, all India ranking, and more. Explore the holistic learning modules intrinsically designed for the ideal aspirant.
Good afternoon. कैसे हैं आप लोग? Good. So we are here to understand the strategy for preparing for the geography part of UPSC Civil Services, right? And I would assume that you people might have completed your graduation या कर रहे हो अभी? क्या status है? You're complete like in graduation or in graduation? Very good. ठीक है. So some of you might be in graduation, some of you who might be watching it online would be, probably completed your graduation. So we would assume that we are preparing for the next year or, next to next year, something like this. So basically the idea is to discuss the strategy about how do we go about this subject. Okay? That is the main goal of this discussion that we have, which is how do we go about the preparation for geography. So when we say this word geography, I hope you might have come across terms where this last part of the word is like and let's say when we say geography or geo, right? So geo means the earth, but you have a word geology and you have a word geography, right? वैसा ही जैसे आपका economy है ना? तो economy के अंदर एक word है nomi. So ये nomi, graphy, logy, right? इन सबका अपना अपना meaning है. All of these have their own meaning. Right, so जैसा एक word है geology और एक word है geography. Both of them are related to earth. But what is the difference between the two words? Geology में what are we studying and geography में what are we studying? If I just ask you, the difference is when we use the word graphy in anything, it is more about the description of the subject, right? So it's more about descriptive kind. You are trying to describe how it is, right, or explain it. That's when we use the word graphy in the end of any term, है ना. जैसे biography है, सुना है ना biography. So biography में you are explaining about that thing or you are describing that thing. ठीक है. Similarly, you have a word logy, biology. Biology is about, it is about the life form where you are trying to study that life form, right? You are not trying to describe it, you are trying to study it as a stream of, you know, education and all. And when we use the word nomi, it is more about the laws, rules which guide it. ठीक है. तो इन तीनों में ये अंतर है basically. So geography when you say is different from geology. Geology will be more about studying the different aspects of it, whereas when we say geography, it is more about describing it, that what does it look like. ठीक है. तो geology में we'll try to study and understand how it is formed और वो सारा part, whereas when you say geography, you are trying to describe what does it look like, what are the features and all. ठीक है. So this word geography is, as all of us know, it's a subject which you find in your schools. ठीक है. And what do we try to study in this? What does it include? इसमें क्या क्या आता है, right? So when we say geography, geography mainly can be divided into two parts, right? One is the non-living part of the world, non-living, right? And when we say non-living, it will include everything on the earth which is non-living. What are the things that we find non-living? There are continents, there are oceans, है ना? And in the continents you have mountains, plateaus, plains, and various other things are there. Whereas when we say the other part is, so there is a living part of, you know, geography. So this is about the subject only. So there is a living part, and in living part also there are two parts to the living. One is the human, the other is all the other. ठीक है. So when we say, we can say biodiversity, right? The biodiversity which will include all the plant and animal, all of this, right? Whereas another part is from this itself one type, so it's just one of the animals that we take, which we call as human, right? So human beings and how the human beings have lived. So basically if you see geography like this, what you find, there is a non-living part which is mainly related to the continents and the oceans, continent, atmosphere, okay, oceans, and all of this is, you know, as you find, is on the geo, which is the earth. And therefore at times geography also tries to briefly explain how the earth is formed, right? So when we talk of that part, how the earth is formed, we can say it starts from universe. So there is a part which is from universe to the earth, the formation of universe, the formation of galaxies, stars, planets, exoplanets, right, up to earth. That is one part, right? So this is one. Then once you are on the earth, then you talk of the non-living, in which we talk of the continent, atmosphere, oceans. This part we call as the physical geography. इसको क्या बोलते हैं? Physical geography. This is physical geography, right? Which is basically related with the non-living part. And then you come to the living part in geography, where there is a bit of overlap. So we will not go into that, but we will just look at it like this only, which is the biodiversity, where we are mainly talking of plants and animals. And these plants and animals, including the human beings, are living on the land or the oceans. ठीक है? In that case, or the atmosphere. So in that case, this part is also called as environment. क्या बोलते हैं इसको? Environment. ठीक है? And the relation between environment and biodiversity is called as ecology. The study of the relation between them is called as ecology. So ये term समझ में आ रहा है? I'm trying to introduce you some terms which I will use in a while. ठीक है? तो पहला हम ये सारा words याद रखेंगे. क्या क्या word आया? एक part आया ये universe to earth. You call it as, you can say universe studies or space studies. हाँ, तो ये सारा space related aspects है. Space studies, where you are trying to understand up to earth. And then once you come into earth, you have a physical geography. Physical geography mainly deals with continents, atmospheres and oceans. And then this physical part is where the other living things are living. Okay, when you talk of the living thing, we call it as biodiversity. All the living things are together called as the biodiversity of the earth. Okay, in that biodiversity, plants and animals together are there. And when you talk of the biodiversity, then we say that the biodiversity is living in an environment. The environment is nothing but the physical geography where they are living, and the relation that is there between the non-living and this living is called as ecology. तो ये वर्ड समझ में आ गए, बायोडाइवर्सिटी, इकोलॉजी, एनवायरमेंट. Why? Because once we see the UPSC syllabus, you will find these words are given separately. They are not given as geography. वो उन्होंने अलग निकाल दिया है. So in geography, they are not talking of environment, they are not talking of ecology, and they are not talking of biodiversity. In geography, now what they are talking of is one, physical geography. ठीक है, the same physical geography behave like the environment when you talk of ecology environment. But in geography, we don't call it as environment, we call it as physical geography. इनका आपस में relation है ये. Is this okay? And the second part in geography is the human geography part. This is for our GS geography. We are talking just with respect to GS geography. I am trying to make you understand what is geography, what are the parts of it, and what parts are there in your GS geography. GS geography में क्या क्या आने वाला है, ठीक है? तो एक part क्या आएगा? One part physical geography. Second part human geography. This biodiversity, ecology, environment will not be there in your GS geography. ये अलग subject है. इसको हम बोलते हैं UPSC preparation में ecology, environment. ये वर्ड सुना ना, इकोलॉजी, एनवायरनमेंट, बायोडाइवर्सिटी, वो एक अलग पार्ट है. दैट इज नो मोर पार्ट ऑफ योर जीएस ज्योग्राफी. ठीक है, सो इफ वी जस्ट सेग्रीगेट इट, वी कैन सेग्रीगेट दिस पार्ट सेपरेटली. इकोलॉजी, एनवायरनमेंट एंड बायोडाइवर्सिटी टू बी सेपरेट. ठीक है, सो नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू फोकस मोर ऑन फिजिकल ज्योग्राफी एंड ह्यूमन ज्योग्राफी. इन दो पे हमारा मेन फोकस रहने वाला है. इज दिस ओके? ठीक है, कम अगेन. Ecology and environment. Okay, very good. Let me show you something. ठीक है, for example, when I show you the syllabus, अब देखो, अब एक मिनट के लिए we see the UPSC syllabus. This is your prelim syllabus. ठीक है, what does the prelim syllabus say? India and world geography. ठीक है, किसका? Physical, social, economic geography of India and world. What is physical geography? We just saw. Physical geography में क्या आया? Land, atmosphere, ocean. Whereas when we say social and economic geography, these two words, social and economic geography, are technically what you can call as human geography. So ये वाला part, social geography and economic geography, is part of your, ये दोनों human geography. So one is physical geography, one is human geography. Whereas when we see environment, ecology, biodiversity, ये सब कहाँ है? That's a separate topic in your UPSC preparation. ठीक है, आर दे रिलेटेड टू ज्योग्राफी? दे आर. वी जस्ट सॉ द रिलेशन. क्या रिलेशन है? बट इन योर प्रिपरेशन वी विल नॉट टेक इट टुगेदर. योर बेसिक ज्योग्राफी बुक्स विल नॉट गिव यू दिस. ठीक है, दे विल बी दे हैव टू बी डन सेपरेटली. इज दिस ओके? ठीक है, सो कैन आई अज्यूम वी अंडरस्टैंड देयर आर टू पार्ट्स एज पर योर ज्योग्राफी syllabus for UPSC. This is for prelims, and then we'll see the mains part. अब mains का syllabus है, मान लो, if we see the main syllabus, what does the main syllabus say? Main syllabus gives you a lot of things in geography, and when you see the ecology and environment syllabus, that is given separately. So this is your ecology and environment related syllabus, which comes later. So this discussion we'll take up in a while. So coming back to this, what do we understand? This basics of geography. That's your basic things about geography that we need to broadly understand. Now once we understand what is in your physical geography and in human geography, what all will fall? If we just write from the syllabus that we saw, human geography for our UPSC preparation part includes social geography and economic geography. But in addition to this, the social geography and economic geography, there is a small part which is I should say not mentioned, but they do ask you those questions, because when you see your NCERT, वहाँ पे definition थोड़ा अलग है. But this social geography would include your population related aspects and human settlements related aspects. Human settlements. ठीक है, so population and human settlement are the two major things that they are trying to focus. So any question which is related to population, demography, right, or let's say tribal aspects or tribes distribution, etc., they fall under your population. Same ways, if they ask you anything about urban settlements, cities, city plans, right, urban plans, so they fall under human settlement, right? So they are either the population and the settlement, right? Both of them are mainly in your social. Social geography includes some other things also, but we don't have to consider this for our GS purpose. Okay. Then the second part of human geography is economic geography. Okay. What will economic geography talk about? Economic geography mainly talks about the resources which are there, different types of resources we use, right? Starting from stone up to the forest resource, or the resources from the rivers, resources from the ocean, fishes, etc. Then different types of minerals, right? Agriculture, है ना? तो soil भी एक resource है, right? Then we have renewable resources. Lot of renewable resources you must have heard, है ना? आज के time पे we are talking about solar energy, wind energy, different types of energy sources which are renewable. So all of these are resource, things that we can use. That is one. Now, once we talk of resource, then the next is using these resources, the things that we can do. For example, from the soil, what can you do from soil? You can grow crops. So this is where agriculture will come. Agriculture. Same ways, in the rivers and the lakes and the oceans, what can you, in some regions we do aquaculture. You must have heard the word aquaculture. Aquaculture means, aqua means water, culture means growing. So in water we are growing lot of fishes and other things, है ना? तो वो भी आपका agriculture का ही part है. Even that is part of agriculture. So in agriculture, it will include crops, and it will also include all the animals that we are growing. Animals and related, meat, dairy, सब कुछ इसमें included है. Is this okay? So this is resource and agriculture. Now, after agriculture, the next thing is manufacturing sector. Manufacturing. So when we say manufacturing, different types of things we are manufacturing. Okay, in our factories we are producing lot of things from agricultural produce. We are using textiles also, है ना? Textile के लिए ऐसे cotton है. Where does the cotton come from? Cotton comes from agriculture. Wool comes from agriculture. Silk comes from this sector. But we are using it in manufacturing in making clothes. Same ways, many of the crops we get from agriculture, but we are making food from that. Different food processing industries are there, है ना? Jam, jelly, right? Similarly, there are different other resources also, like iron, coal. We are getting from here, we are using it in manufacturing. Okay, so one sector is these agricultural sector, the other one is your manufacturing, and then you have one more sector which is services. Services, right? In services we are producing different things, such as we are producing power, electricity or energy. Okay, that is one, like electrical power we are producing. Similarly, the second thing that we are producing here is, or we are generating here is, different types of communication network, right? Cable communication, internet communication, ये सब कर रहे हैं ना? And then there is transport of goods, right? And it's not only goods, but transport of goods and people. Okay, so these are the things that we include in our services sector. So all these three together, services, manufacturing and agriculture, is part of your economic geography. समझ में आया? So one is in human geography, one thing that we have to do is A, social geography, and first social geography and second economic geography. In social geography, A, population, and B, settlement, human settlement. Alright, AB. Whereas when you talk of economic geography, in second part of human geography, economic geography, we have resources, we have agriculture, okay, we have manufacturing, right, we have services. These are the main parts that we have in human geography. Okay, human geography very simply means anything in which human beings are taking things from surrounding and utilizing it for their living. ये बहुत simple सा definition है human geography. Anything where we are taking things from the surrounding and using it for our living in different ways. Resources, manufacturing, agriculture, services, jo kuch bhi hai. So whatever we are doing with our surrounding, that is your human geography. And that surrounding in which we are doing it is physical geography. Okay, so physical geography will mainly include all the continent, all the land, all the oceans, all the atmosphere. That's your physical geography. Do we broadly understand? ये दोनों geography का दो parts जो है, ठीक है? One. Now, the second thing that we need to understand here is that having understood this, now why at all are we doing geography for UPSC preparation? Why? Why UPSC wants you to do geography? Why geography? The basic logic is that once you become an administrator, right, what will you be doing? आप कर क्या रहे होंगे? You will be governing the different regions, right? So first of all, you need to know different regions of the world, whether it is in India or outside. So knowing different types of regions, which are the different regions in the world, which are there. One. Second, once you know the region, second, you have to understand the people of the region. What type of people are where? Second, next, you will have to understand what type of settlements are there, what type of cities are there, right? How much population is living in which part of the country, which part of the world, which region, in my district, which part of regions, you know, what population distribution is there? Are there some specific special groups like tribes of which I have to take care? Okay, so these are the population related part that is there and the settlement related. And then next is your economic activity. What are those people doing? What all economic activity? Which are the resources in my region? Right? Which economic activities people are doing? Are they doing agriculture? Right? So in agriculture, what type of soil, what type of crops, what type of transport network is there? So as an administrator, you are supposed to know all this, right? Then only you will be able to administer the region. Okay, that is one part, right? So gradually we understood what are the different regions, who are the people, where are they living, how are the regions in my belt, population distribution kaisa hai. Next factor is, for example, if there is any unwanted situation like a natural calamity, crisis management, disaster management. So for that also you should know which are the different disasters which can take place in a region, and if they take place, what are the major challenge and what should steps I need to take. Okay, and then you might have to do regional planning. Once you become a bureaucrat, you will do regional planning in that region. So you will plan for the region or for the country or for the state or for the district. So those things also you need to know. So you need to know the surrounding which is around you better. Similarly, let's say you become secretary in the Ministry of economic activities or manufacturing or whatever. So there you have to know which resources are there, which resources I should be using, or how we should optimize or better utilize the resources that we have. So because of this, UPSC wants you to focus on geography. ठीक है, तो क्या क्या सीखना है इसमें आपको? If I say why, the first part is physical factors. Which are the physical factors in the world around you? Physical factors, right? Like regions. So you have to know about the regions, different types of regions and different types of, like mountainous region, plain region, plateau region, and a coastal region. This is one. Second is, after this, next is, after physical, then you can say different types of resources, population, right? Then you can say different settlements, like urban centers, cities have different problem, urban areas have or rural areas have different problem. तो सबका problem आपको समझना पड़ेगा, ठीक है? And then the related aspects with respect to this, and further economic activities, right? Economic activities of different regions, ठीक है? And then you come to disaster management, right? Or planning, regional planning. So these are the various aspects which you are supposed to know as a bureaucrat, right? And that's why geography is there in your syllabus. I hope we understand this. Okay. So the next thing that we come to from here is Having understood that geography can be divided into physical and human geography and the parts, the next thing is how should we prepare? अब पढ़ना कैसे है? ठीक है? So what all do we have to study and what should be the source? ठीक है? So for that, let us come back to our PDF here, where we'll try to understand the syllabus first and then we'll try to go to the resources. ठीक है? So for example, when we say the syllabus, what does the syllabus say? Preliminary syllabus of UPSC, India and world geography. So you have to read about India and world. What? Physical, social and economic. Social economic क्या हो गया? Human. Geography. And they are again saying geography of India and the world. तो वो वही बात है. There is nothing new that they are saying. And then they say general issues of environment, ecology, biodiversity. As I said, this has to be covered separately. Different teacher maybe or different source. Okay, but yes, is it part of UPSC syllabus? Yes. In UPSC prelim syllabus, there are 7 topics. Out of them, geography is one. Which one is that? Ye first line. This is ecology environment. Similarly, you have history, you have polity, you have economy, है ना, science and tech, current affair. ये बाकी parts हैं. So we are focusing right now on this only. I'm not focusing on the other part. That's why I said this is separate. ठीक है? This is in your prelim syllabus, right? Then after that, once you come to the main syllabus, so in main syllabus, now go on seeing what are the parts one by one. So main syllabus में सबसे पहला क्या mention है? Salient features of world physical geography. This is the first sentence which is mainly about physical geography. When we say physical geography, they will be talking about continents, anything related to continent, atmosphere or ocean. That's where the questions will be in this. ठीक है? For example, when we say continent, तो continent से क्या पूछ सकते हैं? On a continent, what all do we find? We find mountains, plateaus, plains and different other formations within them. When you go in a mountainous region, you might find something. When you go in a plain region, you might find something. So that is one. Second is atmosphere. They can ask you questions related to atmosphere, climate, weather, है ना? They might ask you cyclones, they might ask you tornadoes, है ना? जैसे इस साल का एक question था, हाँ, twister पूछा था, right? Means I'll show you that paper also. So there was a question about twister. What is a twister? A twister is a tornado kind of a formation. What is a tornado? Now tornadoes you generally see in the US, right? And coincidentally, this year in July there was a film also released by Hollywood by the same name, Twister. ठीक है? And I think उसका July में it came on the OTT also. So maybe many of you might have seen exactly same name है, Twister. And the same name after 2 months is there in your UPSC paper by the name of what are twisters. ठीक है? So I'm not saying कि अब इसका मतलब कि अब आप बैठ करके OTT के ऊपर पिक्चर देखना शुरू कर दीजिए. All I'm saying is that these are natural phenomena which are happening around you, right? And they do ask you those kind of things also. So you just have to be, open. Because twister is a natural phenomenon. तो वैसे ही आपसे कभी साइक्लोन पे कुछ होगा तो पूछ सकते हैं, earthquakes है तो उस पे पूछ सकते हैं, ठीक है? मॉनसून के ऊपर क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं. So these are your physical geography related things. Then the second part, distribution of natural resources. Natural resources मतलब which part? Human geography. Human में किसके ऊपर है? Economic geography. So this part is mainly about economic. Once they come to resources in the world, which all region? All the parts of the world they are saying. South Asia, including South Asia and Indian subcontinent. So world में this is all. So one is the resources, different types of resources. Next is factors responsible for location of primary, secondary and tertiary sector. When we say primary, secondary and tertiary sectors, है ना, in various parts of the world including India, which here written is human geography. What is primary, secondary and tertiary sector? Go back to this sheet that we talked of. In this, when we say resources and agriculture, right, this is mainly your primary sector. ये है primary sector of economy, primary, right? Whereas when you say manufacturing, this is secondary sector. I didn't introduce those words there because I wanted you to see the words first and then see where do they fall. Okay? Whereas the services sector is called as services is tertiary. So the question is not how they are forming, the question is where are they forming. They are asking you the geography of it. They are not asking you kaisa bana, how manufacturing happens, or which resources. They are asking you where. Where means on the earth where. So you have to understand why resources are where, why transport is developed in a particular way, why manufacturing is done in a particular way, है ना? जैसे मान लीजिए sugar cane है, sugar बनाना है. Now where is it most feasible to grow sugar? Where sugar cane is growing or far away from it? What do you think? कहाँ उगाना आसान है? मतलब sugar बनाना कहाँ ज़्यादा logical है? Obviously wherever sugar is growing, जहाँ sugar grow कर रहा है वहाँ बनाना ज़्यादा आसान है as compared to कि आप उसको ले जा करके किसी cold region में sugar बना रहे हैं. It will be a more difficult process. I hope you understand. है ना? Food processing है, milk processing. अब milk processing मान लो आपको cheese factory बिठाना है. Where is it more feasible? Where milk is produced or far away from it? Wherever it is produced. So this is how you have to know which resources are where and which manufacturing sector is where based on that, right? So there are different things which will affect the location of manufacturing sectors, but those things we have to understand. Factors responsible for location of primary, secondary, tertiary sectors. Where what sector is there? And then the next part in your syllabus, important phenomena, geophysical phenomena. Geophysical means physical related to earth, obviously. Geophysical phenomena such as, important क्यों बोला? Because earthquake, tsunami, volcanic activity, cyclones, they affect us. तो ये बोल रहे हैं कि आपको सब कुछ नहीं पढ़ना है, right? You have to do which are important, the ones which are important happening around us. Where, how will we know which are important? This is somewhat coming in current. These things will happen in the current affair. You will know, अच्छा ये हो रहा है, like sea level rise is happening, global warming is happening, forest fires are happening. So those phenomena might be asked. ठीक है, landslides are happening, flash floods are happening, and those questions are coming also. We will just see. बहुत सारे question पूछ लिए, right? So these are all important geophysical phenomena. ठीक है, and then geographical features and their location. So which are the various features and where are they located? Like where are mountains located, where are plateaus located, different types of, where are volcanoes located, वो सब पूछ सकते हैं. ठीक है. And then changes in critical geographical features. Critical geographical feature, earth के ऊपर if we see which is the most critical geographical feature because of which life is there. What is the most important thing? Is it the land or something else? What do you think? What makes life possible on earth? Water. Water is a very critical kind of a feature because of which life is there. Okay? And therefore you will find when we say critical geographical feature, they are mostly talking about water bodies and ice caps. And if you see UPSC question also, they are asking questions around water bodies. जैसे इस साल का question था fresh water resources पे mains के अंदर, right? So we'll see those questions. I'm just trying to make you understand which are the things which are important. ठीक है? So which is the most important things in terms of these critical features? Water bodies. Water bodies related questions might be there. Then resources related question might be there. Economic activity related questions might be there. Urban region related questions might be there. Population related questions might be there. Okay? So the syllabus tells us what type of question we should be expecting. Is this okay? This is your paper 1. Similarly in paper 3 also, paper 3 of the mains, I'm not discussing paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, paper 4. I'm assuming that you already know that in prelims you have a GS paper and in mains you have a pattern. Sir, I believe that is already discussed, है ना? Slightly. So I'm going paper wise. So where does geography fall in your mains? It comes in paper 1 of GS. Okay? And then in paper 3 of GS also there is a bit of geography coming in the form of economic geography. Okay? Economic geography of India. So in that also there is a bit of geography such as, अब कहाँ पे है? ये है, देखो. This is your GS mains paper 3. Almost completely India human geography questions are there. What are they asking in that? They are asking you major cropping patterns, right? Then they are going into different types of irrigation and irrigation system. I think in your economy class just before you might have seen this part of the syllabus, है ना? तो ये आपका वो economy और geography से मिला है. क्यों? Because the word is economic geography, right? So because it is economic geography, it is neither purely economy nor purely geography. It's an overlap. ठीक है? So what all it includes? Crops, irrigation system, then storage, marketing. Now this is more economy related. But when you go beyond this, e-technology to farmer, that is also science and tech and all. Subsidies, etc., science and tech, public distribution. Then when you come to food security, a term like this, food security, or different missions, or animal rearing. So these are parts related to agriculture, a bit related to agriculture, where we'll talk factors related to agriculture. Then comes land reforms. right? So a bit of agriculture is here also in land reforms, and then come your infrastructure. So जो आपका tertiary sector था उसके अंदर there is a major part called as infrastructure. ठीक है, infrastructure will mainly include what? वही जो tertiary sector का चीजें हैं, energy, transport, as you can see. ठीक है, so this is your tertiary sector, है ना, tertiary sector related factors. So this is your syllabus. So can I assume we understand the syllabus, है ना, that what is the syllabus saying? Next thing is once you know all this syllabus and all, तो अब geography, अगर पूरा world का geography को हम break करें तो we can broadly divide it into मतलब जितना भी geography का हमारा part है, if we broadly try to align, we find even the syllabus says geography to be divided into India and world, and in India and world both you have physical and human, and here also physical and human. So now once we know this, the next thing is the sources. What sources should we refer for all this? ठीक है, so let us directly come to the sources. पहला sources का बात करते हैं, syllabus समझ में आ गया, geography में क्या है, why are we doing geography, then the sources. So when we say the sources simply remain, go on seeing this. So this is for your world physical geography. ठीक है, world physical, what is your basic source? Fundamental of physical geography. That's your basic source. ठीक है, but here is a catch. यहाँ पे एक catch है. When you see this book, Fundamental of Physical Geography, and please all of you keep this in mind. When you see this book, Fundamental of Physical Geography, there are two versions of this book in the market right now. One is the post-COVID version, the other one is the pre-COVID version. What is the difference and which one you have to refer? You have to refer the pre-COVID one, not the post-COVID. Why? Post-COVID, there are many parts which are cut and removed, so as to make the syllabus easier for CBSE students, not for UPSC. ठीक है, but the problem is because the post-COVID is available, so many students don't know it and they buy the post-COVID and they think they have completed. Later on they realize उसमें section ही नहीं है. ठीक है, so which one you have to refer? You have to refer this book, Fundamental of Physical Geography, in which there should be one chapter which is the differentiator, which you can see and understand. Chapter number 5 in the book. Okay, chapter 5 in the book should be rocks. If the book has chapter 5 as rocks, then you are reading the right book. But if chapter 5 in the book is geomorphic process, then you are reading the wrong book. ठीक है, तो बुक को सबसे पहला कंटेंट में ढूंढना है चैप्टर 5 रॉक्स है या नहीं है, रॉक्स एंड मिनरल्स. इफ इट इज रॉक्स एंड मिनरल्स यू आर रीडिंग द राइट वन. ठीक है, अभी कुछ ने निकाल दिया, मुझे दिख रहा है. हाँ, तो देखो क्या है चैप्टर 5, जियोमॉर्फिक प्रोसेस. ठीक है, अब पूरा का पूरा बुक पढ़ डालते और बाद में पता लगता ओहो चैप्टर ही मिसिंग है. क्यों मिसिंग है? अब रॉक्स एंड मिनरल्स का इंपॉर्टेंस क्या है अभी देखते हैं. ठीक है, पिछले साल का मेंस का क्वेश्चन है, व्हाट आर प्राइमरी रॉक्स. मेंस का क्वेश्चन है और इस बुक में दिया ही नहीं है और बच्चा सोच रहा है मैंने तो सही बुक पढ़ा हुआ है. डू यू गेट इट? सो द सोर्स शुड आल्सो बी राइट. दिस इज द thing that you have to keep in mind. All right, so please get the versions which are pre-COVID, not the post-COVID one. Right, so ये आपका most fundamental book है और इसमें गड़बड़ नहीं होना चाहिए. वन, ये मार्केट में नहीं भी है तो PDF मिल जाता है मार्केट में. PDF ले लो, डाउनलोड कर लो. ठीक है, डाउनलोड करके आई थिंक 6, 7, 8 पेज का वो पेज है, चैप्टर है, उसको, है ना. हाँ, NCERT का वेबसाइट पे मिल जाएगा और भी जगह पे बहुत सारा सोर्सेज. डोंट आस्क मी सोर्सेज प्लीज, है ना. यू पीपल नो सोर्सेज मच बेटर देन मी, है ना. आप लोग तो कहीं कहीं से कुछ भी निकाल ले रहे हैं आजकल, तो ये तो आप निकाल ही लोगे आई एम श्योर. ठीक है, बट रीड द राइट वन, दैट्स ऑल आई एम सेइंग. ठीक है, देन सो दिस इज योर फंडामेंटल ऑफ फिजिकल ज्योग्राफी, दैट इज द फर्स्ट पार्ट. Then after this, the second book that you have to read for world physical geography is, just give me 1 second, I guess I have that here. Acha, there is another one book called as Certificate Physical and Human Geography. हाँ, वो नाम लिख लो, Certificate Physical and Human Geography, Certificate Physical and Human geography by a author called as G.C. Leong. G.C. Leong. ठीक है, the full name is Go Chang Leong and this is published by Oxford Publication. Exactly, show me the book. Thank you. I was just looking for that image, but I think वो इस वाला PDF में नहीं है. So this is the version and actually इसका बहुत सारा version है market में. One is a orange version of this book, then there is a black version of this book, right? Black and silver. But I don't want you to read any of those. I want you to read this one, the one which is having this kind of a image. Why? Because this is the most updated. What is the update? The update is that the units used in the previous version are inches, right? Inches, feet, and UPSC doesn't ask you those questions. UPSC asks you in centimeter, meter, right? All that. So all of that is updated here. Second, many of the data is also updated because that is an older book, very old book. So uska data purana ho gaya. But in this one they have updated it. So this is the most updated version of the book. Please don't read even the black one. I don't want you to read. Why? Why am I saying repeating this by again and again? Because when I'll show you the question, you will see, thankfully in the last 3-4 years, many of the prelims and mains questions are directly from these books. This and your NCERTs. Directly, line by line, they have taken and copied and pasted. So in some question, the options are taken exactly in the same sequence. 3 options given, 3 of them from NCERT, line by line. Okay? Line by line. Earlier it was not happening for the few years, but last few years it is again started happening. So please do not mess up with your books. Okay? Do we get it? So certificate, physical, and thank you. Human geography. This is the book by G.C. Leong. These 2 books, right? Then what is the third? Let us move on. And as I said, please don't read the black one. इतना पैसा लगा रहे हो, पैसा बुक में मत बचाना, कहीं और बचा लेना. एक पिक्चर मत देखना पूरा साल में, ठीक है? अगर देखते हैं तो, और नहीं देखते तो देखो किधर पैसा बचाना है, थोड़ा मोड़ा बचा लेना, ठीक है? बट डोंट सेव मनी ऑन बुक्स. गेट द राइट बुक्स, अदरवाइज लेटर ऑन रियलाइज होगा, ओहो, यू नो, बुक गलत होने की वजह से 1 साल और प्रिपेयर करना पड़ा, उसका खर्चा ज्यादा हो जाएगा, ठीक है? सो नेक्स्ट वन, the next book that I want you to read. So these are the two world physical geography books. ठीक है? After world physical geography book, the next book is India Physical Geography. This is India Physical Geography book by the name of India Physical Environment. ठीक है? So India Physical Environment, that's your NCERT, right? Class, and these are all NCERTs and class 11th and class 12th NCERT. सिर्फ वही पढ़ना है. Class 11th and class 12th only. In class 11, class 12, there are 4 NCERTs. We are seeing all of them. So अभी 2 देख लिया, right? World Physical and India Physical. And वो G.C. Leong was not an NCERT book. That's an Oxford publication, but that's a very good book, which you must read, right? Then the third one. The third book is Fundamental of Human Geography. This is World Human Geography book. ठीक है? World Human Geography, NCERT. Fundamental of Human Geography, NCERT. Alright? And then, so textbook of class 12th, and then you have India People and Economy, NCERT. Now the name itself, when you see the name, it seems like it's an economy book, but it's not an economy book. It's a human geography book. Social geography, economic geography. Can you see? Social geography related to people, population, settlement, etc. And economic geography related to primary, secondary, tertiary sector. So these are the 4 NCERTs plus G.C. Leong. Now one more book which I generally suggest to students for data updation. Right? Where do you find the data with respect to India Physical and India Human? Mainly India. That's for India only. That's the next book. India 2024, 2025, 2026. ठीक है? तो ऐसा ये गवर्नमेंट का एक पब्लिकेशन है, इंडिया बुक. We call it as the India Yearbook. Name whichever year, उस year का वो book है, India Yearbook. Published by Publication Division of Government of India. Government of India Publication Division. वही लेना है. Don't buy India Yearbook by Chronicle या Manorama. That is not needed. ठीक है? Private publication नहीं चाहिए. कौन सा चाहिए? Government of India. It will be published by Publication Division, Government of India. ठीक है? What is useful in this? For all the human geography sectors that you saw, for example, population data, urban data, economic data, agriculture, manufacturing, transport, power, energy, for all of that, all the government programs are given in this book. The government gives you all the data for that, which is not given in your NCERT. NCERT will give you old data. ठीक है, वो आज से 5 साल 7 साल 10 साल पुराना डेटा. इसका डेटा most updated. That's why government publishes this every year. ठीक है, earlier this used to be a regular book. Nowadays students refer to this less, but I still say in agriculture, some sectors, the most updated data is given here. Government program data, वो सब इधर दिया हुआ है. Policies, everything you find here related to agriculture, manufacturing industry. So please do refer to some sections. Whichever section we saw there in your NCERT, India population and India economy, वो chapters आपको यहाँ से पढ़ना है, those chapters. ठीक है, plus current affairs. You can refer to your current affair, economic survey, budget, normal current affair. So for current affair, I would suggest and this is not partial, believe me, I'm there with Vision First since 2009. One of the first thing that we started working very rigorously on was our current affair, and our current affair is amongst the best that you can lay your hands on. So Vision Eyes का जो आपका current affair magazine है monthly, that's a perfectly made magazine. Please refer to that, right? Or if you don't like it, then you can refer to any other but reputed one. Please don't refer to any unreputed thing, and don't refer to various sources. कोई एक अच्छा सा magazine पकड़ो, right? If you whichever you like. If you ask me one, I would suggest you Vision, not because I'm with Vision, but because I find that it is still amongst the best. Is that okay? So that's your current affair source. I hope we get it. Can I go beyond this? Source समझ में आ गया? ये basic books इतना ही है, और कुछ भी आपको नहीं करना. If you are able to do this, good enough. At the time of mains, you will get some mains, you can say answer format, question and answer format. वो mains के time पे पढ़ना, अभी नहीं, अभी ज़रूरत नहीं है. Once you come close to the mains, once your basic geography is done, that's when you can refer to your mains related, all that content that institutes are making. So वो आप वहाँ कर सकते हैं. ठीक है? So can I go beyond this? Right? The next thing. What is the next thing that we have to refer? Apart from this, these are your other NCERTs, right? Starting from your class 6th. So you have a Earth Habitat NCERT. You have our Environment class 7th NCERT. Resources and Development class 8 NCERT. Contemporary India class 9 NCERT volume 1, and Contemporary India class 10th NCERT volume 2. Should you refer to it? I would say if you are preparing for 26, then you have time, right? If you are preparing for further, you still have time. एक बार पढ़ लेना है. So class 6 to 10th NCERTs you can read once, but the ones that you have to revise n number of times are not these NCERTs. They are the class 11, 12th NCERTs. So if you have time, you can read it. If you don't think you have time, and if you can understand better with your basic and the class 11, 12th NCERT, then please go with your class 11, 12th NCERT. Is this okay? Hopefully we get it. तो इस सोर्स समझ में आ गया. Can I go beyond this? Right? NCERT का एक और अच्छा चीज जो आपका NCERTs give you are these section. Generally people miss this, the glossary. Every NCERT in its end has a glossary page, and in the glossary they are giving you different words and their meaning. People search these meaning from n number of sources, and they are not official. This is the most official content. So for all the geography, many major geography terms, the best source is the glossary. Glossary given at the end of NCERT. So आपका 4 NCERT है, चारों के end में glossary pages हैं, and they might be 2 to 3 page glossary this thing. जैसा इसमें दिख रहा है आपको. What is migration? What is a lagoon lake? Today only somebody asked me in the class early in the morning, sir, what are lagoon lakes? Which means you're not reading your NCERT. ठीक है, क्योंकि NCERT का glossary में बिल्कुल साफ साफ लिखा हुआ है, राइट? उसी तरह बहुत सारा टर्म है. माइग्रेशन क्या है, मेटामॉर्फिक रॉक्स क्या है, लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेंसी क्या है. लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेंसी इज रिलेटेड टू पॉपुलेशन. तो अलग अलग टर्म्स इन्होंने दिया है और बिल्कुल सिंपल भाषा में दिया है. सो प्लीज रेफर टू योर ग्लॉसरी. दैट्स द मोस्ट, इट्स लाइक अ डिक्शनरी. इट्स योर ज्योग्राफी डिक्शनरी फॉर बेसिक वर्ड्स. ठीक है? So rather than searching here and there, look at these things. What is a plain? What is a plateau? What is plate tectonics? सब कुछ लिखा हुआ है साफ साफ सिंपल भाषा में. Okay? And I want you to refer to your basic sources. मैं आपको 10 अलग अलग sources नहीं दूंगा. I don't want you to get lost. It's very easy to get lost in UPSC preparation by eye-catching content. Eye-catching content is not the best content here. Let me tell you, right? Something which is very basic, that is the most important thing. If you see many toppers, they generally say, हमने क्या पढ़ा है? हमने कुछ ज़्यादा नहीं पढ़ा यार. हमने क्या पढ़ा है? So basic books n number of times. We have revised our same source n number of times, rather than referring to n number of sources and not revising it properly. ठीक है? So please stick to these. Then comes your atlas. So I would generally suggest you can buy an Oxford student atlas, or you can also, if you don't like Oxford student, you can get Orient Black Swan. These are two good student atlas. A student atlas would look something like this. So that's a competitive exam, ऐसा लिखा हुआ है. इसका भी ले सकते हैं. S Chand is also good, DK is also good, but I generally recommend Oxford या these two. These are generally good. Out of these two, if you ask me one, I would say Oxford. If you can get the Oxford atlas, ऊपर जो अभी देखा हमने, this one, this is a good atlas. Is this okay? So we understand this much, right? So what all have we understood? देखो, geography basics तो हमें समझ में आ गया, and then we have come up to the sources. Now once we are done with the sources, next thing, अब क्या करना है? Right? There are two more things you have to see. How should you prepare about this exam? And in how should you prepare, there is one basic guiding source for me, the UPSC. UPSC is the most basic guiding source for this, which gives you the syllabus and also gives you the questions. Previous year question. Previous year question is the best thing to look into when you are preparing for this. ठीक है? So when you say previous year questions, what will they look like? जैसा अभी हम ये तो आपका मैप या एटलस का पार्ट है. We'll see all of them. जैसा right when you see in your, we'll come back to this. Don't worry. Maybe if time permits, we'll come back. Now I just wanted to take you to previous year questions. So for example, when we see the previous year question, what kind of question is UPSC asking geography? You'll find, and though these are the very conventional numbers, actually if you ask me, I'll show you the paper right away. You will find there are more questions than the questions mentioned in this. For example, 2023 they are mentioning 21. As per me, there are more than 25 questions in geography which they have asked, and I'll show you all those questions in a while. Okay, but still UPSC is asking in your prelims questions around, if you see the last 2-3 years, 18, 21, this year it was more than this, 24. 24 का data इसमें नहीं है. I'll show you the 24 paper in a moment. ठीक है? So 24. So UPSC is asking a decent number of questions in geography. Out of कितना question होता है prelims का paper में? Questions. Now total number of questions in your prelims paper 100. है ना? तो out of 100 you are getting almost 18, 20. 20% of the paper is from here. But if you ask me, there is more. I'll just show you in a moment. ठीक है? And then in mains also, they are asking you a good amount of questions. जैसे 23 में 100 marks, 22 में 100 marks, 21 में 110 marks, so on so forth. But is it a complete picture? The answer is no. Because many times they ask you a 250 mark essay directly from geography. ठीक है? So a major part of your essay also becomes geography. वो अभी देखते हैं. I'll show you all those questions. This is a basic data which you will find in printed source. But if you ask me, the content is much more than this that UPSC is asking. ठीक है? वो अभी देखते हैं. ठीक है? So then अब जैसा geography में there will be main two, three types of question. One will be the conceptual question where they are asking you concepts given in your books. Second is factual question where they are asking you factual data. ठीक है? And the third one is your map questions. Right? Three main type: concepts, facts, and map. Conceptual question would be, for example, in plate tectonic or in cyclone formation, they might ask you something. That is concept. Second is factual, like agricultural production, they might ask you that which crop is growing more, which region it is growing more. Do we get? That is a factual question. And map questions would be different. Map के अंदर they might ask you different types of map related questions, such as ये देखो. For example, these are some of your map questions from 2023. As I said, इस वाला sheet के अंदर 24 का नहीं है, but 24 I'll just show you in a moment. ठीक है? So for example, map में कैसा questions पूछा है? If you see, so Jhelum river passes through which of the lakes? So there are, rivers, lakes, as you can see here, India, ऐसा. Then they are asking you different ports. So which are the ports, right? And port related facts. So these are map and port. मतलब map and fact. ये दोनों मिला के question है. Maps भी है और facts भी है. ठीक है? And then they are also creating questions which are map, fact and concept. वो इस साल का क्वेश्चन है. I'll show you. ठीक है? That's why I'm telling you कि कैसा कैसा questions वो पूछ रहे हैं आपसे. Right? Similarly, when you go here, अब यहाँ देखो, about 3/4 of world cobalt is produced in one of these countries. ये क्या है? ये एक fact है कि cobalt कहाँ produce हो रहा है. It's a factual. What is cobalt? It's a resource. Where do we use cobalt, by the way? Cobalt क्यों पूछा? 118 element है. But cobalt क्यों पूछा? Because it is mostly used in your new technology machines like your electric vehicles, ठीक है, एंड न्यूअर एनर्जी, जितना भी हमारा न्यू टेक्नोलॉजीज है उसके अंदर ऑल्टरनेटिव सोर्सेस, जैसा अर्लियर वी वर यूजिंग फॉसिल फ्यूल बट नाउ वी आर मूविंग टुवर्ड्स इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल। तो इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल के अंदर जो आपके मिनरल्स हैं, लिथियम है, कॉपर है, कोबाल्ट है, दे बिकम इंपॉर्टेंट, राइट? सो नाउ दे आर आस्किंग यू क्वेश्चंस अराउंड इंपॉर्टेंट। सो बेसिकली इट इज द करंट फैक्ट कि क्या अभी इंपॉर्टेंट है। वंस यू अंडरस्टैंड इट देन यू अंडरस्टैंड। अच्छा, नहीं तो लोग सोचे थे यार ये कोबाल्ट पूछ लिया इसका मतलब कोई सा भी मिनरल पूछ लेंगे, नहीं, कोई नहीं पूछ रहे हो आपसे, वो पूछ रहे हैं थिंग्स विच आर रिलेटेड टू न्यूअर टेक्नोलॉजीज, करंट अफेयर्स। ये करंट अफेयर्स का क्वेश्चन है, थोड़ा करंट अफेयर का फैक्ट है, विच रीजन एंड मैप मिला के पूछा है। डू वी गेट इट? इज दिस ओके? देन which of the following is part of Congo basin, उसका आगे चलते हैं। then these are other questions and so on. So now this is a transport related question, as you can see transport sector हमने बात किया ना। so east west corridor under golden quadrilateral connects which two places? so these are your map related things. so we'll talk of कि that's why I'm showing you the question so that you understand कि वो पूछ क्या रहे। अब ये हो गया ट्रांसपोर्ट, वो हो गया मिनरल रिसोर्सेज, फैक्ट आ रहा है समझ में। उसके पहले कैसा था, लेक्स रिवर्स, राइट? सो दे वर आल्सो लोकेशन। नाउ लेट अस गो बियॉन्ड, अब इसका आगे चलते हैं, ठीक है। देन दे आर आल्सो आस्किंग यू दीज कंट्री रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन सच एज विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग कंट्रीज आर शेयरिंग लैंड बॉर्डर विद। अब यूक्रेन से क्यों पूछा, ये करंट है। ऐसा नहीं है कि वो आपसे यूरुग्वे से पूछ रहे हैं कि यूरुग्वे से किस किस कंट्री का बॉर्डर टच हो रहा है, ठीक है। ऐसा पूछने लगेंगे तो देन इट विल बिकम अ वेरी ओपन एंडेड थिंग। बट व्हाट आर दे आस्किंग यू, यूक्रेन, व्हाई? बिकॉज दिस इज इन करेंटली इन न्यूज, वो करंट न्यूज में, तो यू शुड नो अच्छा आसपास में कौन सा कंट्री अफेक्ट हो रहा है। डू वी गेट इट? सो इट्स अ करंट फैक्चुअल थिंग विच इज ऑल्सो रिलेटेड टू योर मैप। कैन वी गेट? ठीक है, आ रहे समझ में। सो दे आस्क यू फिजिकल ज्योग्राफी, डिड दे आस्क? यस। डिड दे आस्क यू रिसोर्सेज? यस। डिड दे आस्क यू ट्रांसपोर्ट? यस, राइट। आर दे आस्किंग यू इंडिया रिलेटेड फैक्टर्स? यस। तो फैक्ट, मैप, रिसोर्सेज सब पूछ रहे हैं, ठीक है, जो हमने ज्योग्राफी के सिलेबस में पार्ट्स देखा। अब उसके आगे जाते हैं, लेट मी शो यू सम मोर। तो अब इसका आगे, जैसा अब ये क्वेश्चन है, नॉट दिस, लेट मी गो बियॉन्ड दिस मैप थिंग, द होल थिंग। मैप का बिल्कुल आगे चले जाते हैं एंड लेट अस कम टू सम मेंस क्वेश्चंस, ठीक है। इन द एंड आई विल शो यू सम more questions and then, and I think, sir, how much time have we taken? Because I don't want to extend it too much. I believe we have already extended it, है ना? So let me take this last 10 minutes with you and after that I'll ask you your doubts and then you can go, maybe maximum. So as you can see, अब ये essay का question है 2024 this year. Forests precede civilization, deserts follow them. Until unless you understand what is a forest, what is a desert, how do they work, how they are formed, how one transforms into the other, ये क्वेश्चन आप आंसर नहीं कर सकते, राइट? सो सम पीपल माइट थिंक दिस इज अ सिविलाइजेशन क्वेश्चन, बट दिस इज नॉट अ सिविलाइजेशन क्वेश्चन। दे आर आस्किंग यू वेयर सिविलाइजेशंस ग्रो, they grow around forest regions. What type of forest? Any forest? No, there are some specific type of region where a civilization will grow. And why generally deserts come after civilizations disappear in a region? ठीक है, why? वो सब देखना है। So this is a cycle that you have to understand. राइट? अब ये पूरा 250 नंबर का क्वेश्चन है ना, उसी के जैसा। उसके पहले जाइए 22 में, फॉरेस्ट आर बेस्ट केस स्टडी ऑफ इकोनॉमिक एक्सीलेंस। इन इकोनॉमी यू नेवर स्टडी फॉरेस्ट, दिस इज नॉट अ इकोनॉमी क्वेश्चन, दिस इज अ क्वेश्चन ऑफ हाउ फॉरेस्ट इज एन एग्जाम्पल ऑफ इकोनॉमी। अब ये फॉरेस्ट कहाँ पढ़ोगे आप, वो ज्योग्राफी में आएगा। व्हाट टाइप ऑफ डिफरेंट फॉरेस्ट आर देयर, how a forest grows, how a forest becomes sustainable, and why a forest deteriorates. If you understand this, you also understand how economy grows, how economy prospers, and what are the factors which kill an economy. ठीक है, केस स्टडी का मतलब समझते हो ना? केस स्टडी इज यू आर टेकिंग एन एग्जांपल एंड फ्रॉम दैट एग्जांपल यू आर ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड। सो पिछला 3 साल के अंदर 250-250 नंबर का तो सीधा ज्योग्राफी यहां रखा हुआ है, और दोनों में ही उन्होंने आपसे फॉरेस्ट और डेजर्ट पूछा है, बेसिक फैक्टर्स, है ना। उसका पहले जाइए, साउथ एशियन वुमेन, सॉरी, साउथ एशियन सोसाइटीज आर वोवन अराउंड कल्चर्स एंड आइडेंटिटीज, राइट? सो कल्चर एंड आइडेंटिटी इज डिपेंडेंट ऑन ज्योग्राफी, डिफरेंट रीजन, डिफरेंट कल्चर्स, डिफरेंट आइडेंटिटीज ग्रो, राइट? एंड देन सी द नेक्स्ट वन, वाटर डिस्प्यूट बिटवीन फेडरल स्टेट्स, उसका नीचे टूरिज्म, ऑल ऑफ दीज आर समवॉट रिलेटेड विद geography. ठीक है, are we live? Excuse me, technically class live and good. ठीक है, so this is just to show you that geography is not only in your this thing, you know, geography they are asking you. So since 14 to 24, how many essay questions have been asked? 6. दिख रहा है, 11 साल में 6 ऐसे क्वेश्चन उन्होंने आपसे ज्योग्राफी से सीधा पूछा. उसके सिवाय देन देयर आर डिफरेंट अदर क्वेश्चन. जैसा अब ये है आपका स्पेस मिशन में से जूनो मिशन, हाउ डज इट हेल्प अस अंडरस्टैंड द अर्थ. देन दिस ईयर दे आस्क व्हाट आर एस्टेरॉइड्स, राइट, हाउ दे आर थ्रेट टू एग्जिस्टेंस ऑफ लाइफ, राइट. सो व्हाट इज एन एस्टेरॉइड, ये आपका स्पेस वाला पार्ट से क्वेश्चन था. देन व्हेन यू कम डाउन दे आस्क यू डिफरेंट थ्योरीज, है ना, जैसे आइलैंड फॉर्मेशन है, ऐसा आपको ये दिख रहा है 14 का क्वेश्चन. लेट मी टेक यू स्लाइटली डाउन. डिस्कस सर्कम पैसिफिक जोन्स, है ना, उसका ऊपर वॉल्केनिक इरप्शन. सो वॉल्केनिक इरप्शन वर इन न्यूज इन दैट ईयर, तो उसके अराउंड पूरा क्वेश्चन पूछ लिया मेंस के अंदर. उसके बाद अभी अगर देखें इस साल का क्वेश्चन पेपर, तो यू विल फाइंड फॉर एग्जांपल, अब ये देखो, ये 2-3 क्वेश्चन यहाँ पे ये है, व्हाट इज ऑरोरा ऑस्ट्रालिस, ऑरोरा बोरियोलिस. दीज आर एटमॉस्फेयर फिनोमेना रिलेटेड क्वेश्चंस व्हिच दे हैव आस्क्ड. ठीक है, इसी तरह से एक ऊपर क्वेश्चन है ये वाला, डिस्क्राइब कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ रॉक्स. ये कौन सा चैप्टर है? चैप्टर 5 मिसिंग आपका बुक में. ठीक है, तो ये है, देखो 22 में पूछा ये. अरे सर में, सो ऑल आई एम ट्राइंग टू से इज दैट दे आर आस्किंग यू क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम योर बेसिक बुक्स. तो इसीलिए बेसिक बुक्स का ये सारा एक्सरसाइज आपको करने का एक ही गोल था, जस्ट टू शो यू दैट दे आर आस्किंग यू क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम योर बेसिक बुक्स. तो बेसिक बुक्स को पढ़ना इज वेरी नेसेसरी. Is that okay? So this part should give you a sense of the question that they are asking, and so you have to look at the UPSC questions of previous years if you are preparing. If you go on looking, you will understand UPSC क्या पूछ सकता है, and that will get you a sense of how I should prepare. ठीक है? Now the last part in this discussion, which is how should you go about preparing for this. So ये तो हमें सब समझ में आ गया, सिलेबस ये है, क्वेश्चन ऐसा पूछा, all these things we understood. Next thing is how should you prepare. So if you ask me, the best way to prepare is go in the sequence of how the chapters are given. Exactly same sequence, right? Take up a chapter, try to read it. First you read it and don't try to make any note or underline anything. कुछ नहीं, don't do anything, you just read it once. First you try to get a sense of what the chapter is doing and keep a sheet next to you, rough page, and in that rough page you try to make a flow chart of what they are trying to say. Flow chart समझते हो, है ना? मान लो आपने बुक उठाया, आपका चैप्टर मिला पहला वाला, सपोज जैसे ज्योग्राफी का हमारा फर्स्ट चैप्टर है. व्हेन यू स्टार्ट स्टडिंग, इट विल स्टार्ट टॉकिंग ऑफ फॉर्मेशन ऑफ लेट्स से यूनिवर्स, right? So you say, acha, first part is talking of formation of universe. In that they are saying old theories, new theories, right? Then in new theory they are talking of, for example, Big Bang. ठीक है, then they give you some data of Big Bang data. इसका जो भी data है वो थोड़ा साइड में लिख लो. Don't write too many things. Then go next. After this, then they come to formation of solar system. So solar system. So solar system, they are trying to talk about solar system. They are talking about sun. They are talking about earth, right? Then they are talking about lithosphere. Lithosphere मतलब when I'm giving you fundamental of physical geography, chapter number 2, not 1. 1 के अंदर उन्होंने geography का बात किया है. What is geography? And second, they are talking about this. ठीक है? The chapter is called as formation of the universe and the earth and all this. ठीक है? So in that they talk of lithosphere. Then they talk of atmosphere. Right? Then they talk of oceans. And finally they talk of life. So this is a basic synopsis of the chapter. 5-6 page का chapter है, basically है. Then once you have done this, then you try to figure out which are the facts given in this. ठीक है? Once you know, then you take your book and underline those facts. अच्छा, इस book में ये fact है. Those facts I have to remember. और ये concept है. So when you are reading, there are 2-3 things that you will come across. एक क्या आएगा? Concept. So what are the concepts given in the chapter? Second is your facts, right? Factual data. And third is location. Location matlab where is it happening? Now that where part is mainly your map. Okay, so anything that you study, you will mostly come across these 3 things. What is the concept? So concept is a flow chart. Second is what are the facts of that concept, which year, when, what happened, जैसा अब यहाँ लिखा है हमने Big Bang. Big Bang, when did it happen? So it will say 13.7 billion year. Then solar system formation, sun formed 5.6 to 4.6 billion year before present. Then the land, lithosphere formed by 4 billion years before present. Ocean also formed 4 billion year before present. Life evolved 3.8 billion year before present. It came on land 550 million year before present. So those are the facts. And then they will say what is happening where. अब इस chapter में नहीं है, लेकिन when you go to mountain chapter, there you will find, oh, fold mountain. So this type of mountain formed here, island formed here. That's your map location. Do we get? So this is how your chapter has to be organized. And when you are doing this, एक और चीज, what is the reference? जब भी समझ में नहीं आए क्या पढ़ना है, क्यों पढ़ना है, and questions, PYQ देखो, that will help you. ठीक है? So this, if you ask me, should be your strategy. Read your PYQs, read your syllabus, read your basic chapter, first make a basic flow chart, then underline and then write the concept. ठीक है? So the ones who will be attending class, we will be following this pattern strictly. ठीक है? And your map thing you should do regular. I would suggest please do your map regularly. ठीक है? जैसे for example in our class I give you maps every day, 20 location I try to give, ताकि आप हर रोज मैप करो, क्योंकि मैप कैन नॉट बी डन इन वन गो इन द एंड. देयर आर लॉट मेनी हंड्रेड्स ऑफ लोकेशंस यू हैव टू स्टडी. ठीक है? So do that and keep it updated with current. तो current का magazine है, one magazine in a month, in that figure out. अच्छा, पूरा magazine में कितना location होगा? How many locations might be there? Maybe they might give you 20 world locations and maybe 20-30 India locations. Good enough, ठीक है, कर लेंगे यार. ठीक है, so those 20-30 India locations also we write and the facts related to them. That might be a prelims question. ठीक है, do we get it? So I hope we understand how we proceed with the geography thing. There's nothing else that I need to share at this stage. You're just starting. If you have anything that you want to ask, you can always connect. But if you have any doubt, please ask me. Anything? Nothing? थक गए हो? Sir, बहुत हो गया UPSC preparation. ठीक है? So good enough, no problem. Right? Enjoy your preparation and see some of you in the classes later on. That's it from my side. Thank you. Sir, is there anything else? Thank you. Thank you, dear.